garden friends. It's Landon Gilfillan with Pepper and Pine Garden Design, and if you can believe it, it is what is it today? The Saturday before Thanksgiving. So it is November 18th, and I realize it's been almost 2 months since I've been on here, and I have a good reason for that. My last video was posted right before my sweet, precious father passed away the end of September. And we basically made a very quick trip down to Oklahoma, spent 2 weeks down there with him. We're with him when he passed, and you know, all the things that come with losing a family member. So I just had to take a break from being out here and just spend time with family and kind of marinate on the things that occurred. And but today we're back out here closing up the garden for the season, which is, you know, some kind of a bittersweet feeling to have been out here all season. You can see how different this place looks from whenever it was full of lots of green and flowers. And we've had chickens in here doing a lot of the cleanup work for us, which is one of my favorite things to do at the end of the season, is to open the garden up to all the girls and the boys and let them come in here and clean out all the debris. So today we're out here, and basically we're going to try to get the remaining stalks that are left in the ground. We're going to pull those up, put them in our burn pile, and then we're going to lay tarps down on these beds to let them sleep for the winter. And that is my way of helping this ground that's been nicely fertilized by all our chickens. The wood chips that we put on there this past year, any remaining greens and stalks, laying those tarps down on there will allow that ground to really cook and turn over throughout the winter and even into the early spring to prepare the ground for next year's garden. So again, letting that garden, the ground cook down, all this stuff will kind of become one basically over the winter season. And having those black tarps on there where I allow the heat to be drawn in from the sun, at least until it's covered with snow. And the other bonus to covering it with tarps like that is when the spring comes, it's going to kill out any weed seeds that are remaining and allow this to be just dirt and soil when we start in March and April. Anything that's going to want to come out, that dark opaque cover will kill out anything because it won't have the energy it needs to grow. And I have found that has been a really beneficial way to start the season. Additionally, today, if we can get it squeezed in, I have my garlic. Finally was able to order the garlic to get it in the ground in the fall. That's the best time, especially here in Michigan, to plant garlic is in the fall, because then it allows that garlic to have plenty of time to overwinter and then start coming up in the spring. And that's hardneck garlic. Softneck garlic can be planted in the spring, and if you have a nice long season, it can grow and be ready at the end of the season. But up here, softneck garlic doesn't seem to work as well. Hardneck garlic is really what works best in this climate range. So I've got myself a good, I think 160, I have to do the math again. I bought a lot of garlic, and the reason for that is because garlic is not cheap. It's just not cheap. It's unbelievable how much a head of garlic costs to grow. In a store you can get it for cheap, but it's not quality, the quality that I'm looking for. So I bought a lot of garlic this year, and the reason for that is because I want to have a big enough stock that I can start taking my own garlic and using it to grow the next year around. And every year I can continue to add to that to where I don't have to purchase my garlic anymore from seed shops. I will be producing my own. And that may mean that we won't have enough garlic to last us through the season next year, because I'll be taking a good stock of what we grow and using it to start our garlic for the next season, if that makes sense. So I've got 2 big old bags of garlic sitting over here. I'll tell you what I've got. My preferred garlic is the hardneck German red, but I could not get my hands on that this season. So I've got 2 new varieties that I'm excited to try. So if we can get all this cleared out, I'm hoping to get that in the ground today. Okay, so as you can see, we have cleared the west garden in a matter of 30-40 minutes, estimating here. So we have a nice blank canvas that I can plan for next year. I did leave all my perennial herbs here. They will come back even though they're covered with the tarp. We'll pull that back in the spring and they'll start to come through. But what this is really going to help to do is just kill out these weed seeds, any sort of debris, leftover plant debris will break down underneath those tarps. And this will just be a nice, beautiful blank canvas for the spring. So now we're heading over to the next garden. And just so you know, the reason we came in here, we were getting up all the really woody stuff that probably would not break down in like a 3-month time period. And that stuff is either going to the compost pile or the burn pile because I don't want too much, again, like woody debris in that compost that's not going to break down in time for me to use it. And if we have time, we are going to be taking some of that compost from my compost bins back here behind me on the other side of the garden and bringing that in. But if we don't get it to today, we can do it even in the spring before we start to plant things. So yay for getting this done. On to the next. Okay, the other thing I was going to show you is the garlic that I chose for this year, which I'm really excited about. I love trying new varieties. So one of the ones I bought is called Chinese Pink. And again, both of these are hardneck varieties. I bought 16 bulbs of Chinese Pink and 16 bulbs of Vietnamese Purple. So we're going Asian this year, it looks like, going to the east. So we have 32 bulbs total, and each one of those bulbs, 16 bulbs, within every single one of those heads or 16 bulbs of garlic, I'll get about 8 to 10 cloves. So if I'm estimating correctly, if I bought 32 bulbs or heads of garlic, I could get around 320 cloves maximum. That's a great amount of garlic. So if I plant 320 cloves, and then each one of those cloves creates a head with 8 to 10 garlic, I'm going to have a lot of garlic to cure. How much? 266. So 266 to 320 heads of garlic I'll be growing here in the spring. And then of course, each one of those heads will have another 8 to 10 cloves that I can either cure and use in the house or replant for the next season. So that's going to give me a good head start. And my goal again is to not have to purchase garlic next season, because I will share with you that these were on the lower price end. They still cost me $48 for 16 bulbs of garlic. And that was, again, on the lower end of things. So I spent $96 on that garlic. And if I can plan accordingly, I don't want to have to spend that much again. And then I'll really pay off as we start using our own garlic to plant each season. So I'm excited about this venture. Okay, so that's a wrap for today. We got that garden over there pretty much done. We just need one more tarp to cover it up. This one is almost cleared out. We just need to get some really big tarps to cover this up for the season. And the garlic will be planted probably right in here. So we'll do that here in the next week. We've got a little bit of time before the ground really freezes solid. So I'm really excited that we got all this done. This feels so good to kind of have the garden closed up for the season. And all I have left is to cover it with tarps, the remainder with tarps, and plant my garlic. And I'll be good to go till next spring. Hard to believe. So we're just going to continue to let these ladies graze through here and do their business. They're doing us a service in so many ways, and they love it. And then it's planning season. Can you believe it? Time to plan for next year. And I do have some exciting plans coming up that I can't wait to share with you guys as the winter moves along, including the varieties that I'll be planting next year and some exciting new business opportunities that we're going to try for our farm here in the next season. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'm glad that we're back in it again, and try to keep some content coming out for you over the winter season, because you can still be doing your garden even though it's not gardening season. So thanks again. My name is Landon Gilfillan with Pepper and Thyme Garden Design, growing gardeners and their gardens, and we'll see you in the next video.